Many yoga movements come from nature or reminded the early yogis of things in nature. I was sitting in meditation at the base of a tree practicing TM in the early 70s. Actually, it was 1969. And I didn't know anything about the heritage of sitting under a tree the way the Buddha did. It's just a convenient place for me to meditate. And I did my mantra for 10 minutes. I did what they told me to do, 15 minutes. And then I got up. And I walked away, and something inside me, I was a teenager, something inside me said, turn around. And I turned around and looked at this large tree, and it was as if I were seeing a tree for the very first time, as if I'd just been born. And there was its full treeness extending up into the sky and down through the ground in its root system. I felt its energy, and I felt that what I had just been privileged enough to stumble into was something of immense value, of great central importance in being a full human being living on this earth. And there happens to be a pose called the tree pose, Vrikshasana. And I'll just do a simple version here with pants. You can't pull the foot up very high. But it just involves standing on one leg and lifting the other foot and putting the heel either on the knee or the inner leg, and being in balance. And being in balance doesn't mean being still. A tree, in fact, is rarely still. It's responding to its environment. So when the sky moves in the form of wind, over we go. What balancing really means is noticing where the forces are and resting somewhere in the middle of them, accepting the dynamic movement of the body. And eventually, of course, the tree grows. It lifts up into the air. It comes up and grows higher and higher and higher. You know, there's a famous passage that's oft quoted in a short story by James Joyce called Painful Case, where the main character, Mr. Duffy, is described this way. And Joyce writes, he lived at a little distance from his body. Okay? And the fortunate thing is that it doesn't matter whether we're practicing on the cushion or on a mat doing yoga or we're at the supermarket. At that moment, we are mostly body. We may think we're mostly mind. We can dwell in that virtual space, but we're actually a body at that moment. And the same skill that's involved in turning toward your breath in a yoga movement, say, is available when we're in the aisle of the supermarket or in the checkout line, or we're waiting in the line at the registry for motor vehicles, you know, or we're talking to somebody and some difficult situation arises. When we train ourselves in mindfulness, the circumstances of sitting on a cushion quietly in a room and being out in the world, let's say at a store or driving, are fundamentally the same. We may think of them as different. Oh, I'm sitting in meditation, I'm creating a calm state of mind, which will be like a pill that I can take. And that will indemnify me. It will protect me from later instances of craving, you know, or bad behavior and so forth. And actually that's true to a certain extent. But the skill that we're training when we practice mindfulness is something which, if we don't use it in daily life, is kind of going to waste. So when we practice on the cushion, what we're really practicing is learning how this very moment can be a present moment experience.